Hey, Chris back with you again for another episode of the Strength, Growth, and Purpose Show. So today, just chilling, got some thoughts in my head, figured it out to you people. Again, I trust that always going well for you, meaning that you are staying congruent with your thoughts and habits. You're taking time for yourself, to invest in yourself for self-development, self-improvement, and you're also getting more comfortable with the person in the mirror. Again, this is all a process, right? It's all a process. You might be working on one area in your life, and that area is, something that you enjoy doing, or something that is, moving the ball forward or pushing the needle where it needs to go. Sooner or later, those things are going to turn into sooner or later, those aspects that you're doing now are going to move into those other areas of your life that need. Because it's very difficult, right, at times. It's super difficult at times about focusing on one thing. And again, say it's fitness, right? You're focusing so much on that, and you're so focused on that, then sooner or later you're going to see little things bleed over into your other parts of your life to help you with your rest of your life. All right, so keep at it. It's not easy. It's going to take longer than you think. So today, what I really wanted to talk about, right, was this topic that is in my head. It's been in my head for over a couple of years. And basically, basically what it is that how do you become, or how do you become involved in something bigger than yourself? That's a question I've been asking myself for a while. I've taken different points of view on trying to get there. I've failed at getting there many, many times, on thinking that one way was the way to go. And now I'm at a place where I think I'm gaining momentum, and I feel very comfortable with the direction I'm going into right now. And again, that's all about what I said earlier about, being comfortable with the person in the mirror, and being comfortable that you are moving forward into things that are congruent. So I wrote a couple of thoughts down. So how do you become part of something bigger, right? Because I know people out there. I know I can't be the only one that feels like that. So I wrote a few things down, right? You have to be prepared, right? Because if the opportunity comes, you have to be prepared. So you have to work on that. You have to be focused, right? On whatever that is, really dialed in, right? You have to have a plan. Not only do you have to have the plan, you have to execute on that plan, right? Because you can have a plan and it could be a goal, but if you don't have some kind of action plan that's going to move the needle, then you're wasting your time. It's just a fucking dream, right? And there's a difference between dreams and goals. Again, you have to execute on that plan. Another thing, right? It takes discipline, sacrifice, and congruent thinking. These are the things I've always say the majority of the time when I start the show, right? Here's another one. Patience. Man, you got to have a lot of patience. Patience and irrefutable determination. Meaning just because somebody else doesn't see the goal, they don't believe in you. They don't support what you're doing. They don't like your, you're making yellow shoe laces with butterflies on them, and nobody likes them. It's okay. Keep making those butterflies and those yellow shoelaces, and sooner or later somebody's gonna freaking like them, right? This is an example. That doesn't mean anything. Stop looking too deep into things. Also, you have to ask questions from those who've accomplished more than you. So if you're trying to get somewhere, and and you really want advice from somebody else, somebody who's winning in the area that you are, you know what? Try to ask them questions. Now, some of the times they're not going to ask you these, they're not going to answer questions for you because they think that you want something, because that's the way humans are. People think, well, why is he asking me this? Why that person asking me this question? And sometimes you're just coming from a good place, an honest place, and you just want an answer to, hey, which way do I go? Do I go left or right? I've made this kind of path, I've gained this, these little, on a ladder, you've made it up like 10 rungs, and you have these 5 other rungs on the ladder that you're trying to get through, but you don't understand which way to go, one of the other things you have to do, you have to change your circle of people, right? Because the same people we've all heard about this. Show me the 5 friends, 3 friends around you, you show you your future. Yeah, it is kind of true, but it's also kind of not true. I don't believe in 100% or in that as an absolute, because I had some fucked up people around me and I chose not to fucking do their fucked up shit. You have to change internally, right? That's what this is all about, self-improvement. How do you become part of something bigger? You got to change yourself internally, change your thought process, change from negative to positive thoughts, change from a different approach, different perspectives. Try to see somebody who's saying, well, you should do it this way instead of that way. You can look at their perspective without being negative and say, maybe I could tweak that idea. Maybe it'll work for me. Right? You have to scribe down your ideas. Scribe meaning write them down manually. Right? Because if you don't write them down out of your head, it's going to stay in your head and they're only going to become dreams. So even me, right? I have specific things that I want to do, right? I see congruency in a couple of things. One is this kind of thing from I think that the parent company is called Spartan Race, but there's a sub company, and that sub company is called DekaFit, DekaFit, and I like what they're doing, and that's something someone else had mentioned to me before. One of my old trainers mentioned that to me before. He's been doing this for a while, and I'm finally feeling comfortable enough that maybe I can attend one of those events. But again, I'm, still working on it. But I've almost made that final decision. Another thing is, my father, who passed away years ago. I have 2 sets of parents. One is still alive here in New York City. My father years ago had always said, hey, listen, you know what? One of your jobs is to, reach out to 3 or 4 men or people that you want to help. And knowing that I'm in the IT field, I'm trying to figure out a way how to do that. That's a long-term goal, because that could change somebody's trajectory in life. That could help that person. I don't know these people. But again, hey, listen, I'm putting all this out here into the universe, into this ether, right? And you can call it God, you can call it whatever you want. You can say, whatever religious sect that you want to belong to, but that is not what I'm doing. I'm just putting it out there so that it's out there in the universe. You never know. I'm starting to prepare. I'm starting to get in shape. I'm starting to do things better for myself, for my family, for everything in between. So you just never know when things are going to turn around. And again, if you're still listening to me, you still got time. So get on with it, will you? Just get on with it. Stop wasting time. It's one of the most valuable assets that we have is time. Choose your time wisely. Talk to you again.